Where do you get your coffee? Maybe you make it yourself with a pour over or some other kind of fancy, crazy machine. A local coffee shop might be your go-to, but most people would say they just go to Starbucks. The company began here in 1971 with their original location in Pike Place. The actual original location's down the street, just so you know. They want an awesome tourist trap, I guess. Since its humble beginnings, the company has become a gigantic C corporation with chains worldwide. That's big. That's the whole damn globe. Starbucks uses a matrix structure for their organization, which includes functional hierarchy, geographic divisions, product-based divisions, and work teams. So time to get red-pilled and figure out who's really controlling the matrix. In recent years, there have been some changes in Starbucks' executives team. The most impactful being the resignation of founder and third-time CEO Howard Schultz. This came after pressure from unionization efforts throughout the organization. And also, I will never forgive you for what you've done to Seattle basketball, Howard. Anyways, the CEO and chairman of the board is now Brian Nickel. We'll get into him later, but personally, I think he should be called Brian Pennies, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, since Starbucks is a matrix-structured organization, there are multiple other executive leaders heading different functions. Here is a quick list of the key roles. All right, speed run. So we got Brady Brewer, CEO of Starbucks International, heads all teams outside of North America, excluding China. He was previously the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Starbucks, until they decided on a more localized approach to marketing leadership outside of the C-suite. After that change, he was promoted to his current position. All right, next up, Mike Grams, EVP and COO, also known as Chief Operations Officer of Starbucks. Mike's position ensures that the daily operations at the company are in line with the company's proposed goals. This includes following the CEO's lead by instituting hiring initiatives or firing initiatives if you are any tech company in 2024. Over 7 million Americans lost their job in 2024. The economy may be cooked, ladies and gentlemen. And the last thing I'm going to mention, Deb Hall Lefevre. I didn't look up their name and how to pronounce it, but they're EVP and CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Starbucks. Their position focuses on making sure the company is ahead of the curve on new technologies that may improve their efficacy and productivity. Managing the technology and engineering departments, a CTO is the driving force behind R&D when it comes to tech. Well, those are the roles that I found the most important to mention, but there are 14 executives in total that do a myriad of things, from focusing on coffee that may or may not be ethically sourced, to Molly Liu, the CEO specifically for their branches in China. Needless to say, the corporation is ginormous and needs a lot of overpaid people to make a small number of high-quality decisions to keep it running smoothly. Get this. The mission of the company is quoted, "To be the premier purveyor of the finest coffee in the world, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit. One person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time." Well, Starbucks has 5 key values that drive their bean-busting coffee-pouring all-American business to that goal. Number 1, craft. They describe this as a detail-oriented pursuit of growth that is bolstered by creativity and passion. I think a multi-billion-dollar corporation definitely seems like the place where creativity is encouraged, you know what I'm saying? And then next, courage, like a lion. This one is rich, seeing their response to almost any dilemma, but we'll get to that later. They claim to embrace difficult conversations with respect. They described their ideas as audacious, which is perfectly displayed by the same pumpkin spice latte being released every single year. Here's a direct quote. "We do the right thing even when it's hard." And I think I don't have to say anything about that. Their next thing, results. Blah, blah, blah. They just want to achieve their goals. Just imagine every buzzword ever, and then you'll have the description for that one. And then belonging. They describe that they actively listen and treat each other with dignity and care. Alrighty. Cue any news coverage of them for the past years. And last is joy. They take pride in their work and create good vibes. So now that we got through the values, you may be wondering how this freaking company makes any damn money. Well, the main way is selling awesome roasted beans in the form of coffee. In the 2024 fiscal year, they made an insane $36.2 billion. That is enough money to give every human being on Earth $4. How about that? Company-owned stores make up for 82% of that number, with the rest coming from licensed locations and miscellaneous products from cups to bag of beans in the grocery store. So a ton of awesome coffee beans that are ethically sourced. The company for a long time offered the service of a third place, somewhere for people to congregate and take meetings and hang out while drinking coffee. In recent years, though, they've strayed away, making an environment at some locations that screams, "Please, for the love of God, get out. I need to make 100,000 more pink drinks to meet the quota." Here in Seattle, a big draw for them are the Starbucks reserves in Soto and Cap Hill. They have awesome bean machines that do various different awesome things that I don't even understand. I wonder if they even do anything. The Starbucks cabal must be hiding something in there. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm just a kidder. The beans are awesome, everyone. So now that you know how they make their money, how do they figure out who to sell it to? Well, their main clients are the American public of coffee-drinking gals, fellas, and NBs. Business model analysts list their target audience as millennials and Gen Z. Busy professionals and individuals. Individuals seeking a premium coffee experience. By the way, what does that even mean? Gold-flaked, super giant frap that gives you a massage? And also, next up, individuals that value sustainability and ethical sourcing. And last but not least, trendsetters or early adopters. For the real coffee heads that drank it when it was dirt water coming out of the well. So, I'm not sure if you gleaned this from what I just said, but their target audience is pretty much any single person that has any amount of money sufficient to buy an awesome drink with 50 pounds of sugar. They market mainly to young adults in urban environments that have a work hard, play hard mentality. Nothing more wild than ordering a brownie and a pink drink with the boys after work. Hey, you might even get crazy and order fries for the table at dinner. All right. So you're wondering this whole time, Jake, what's the dang dilemma? Unionization efforts at Starbucks, specifically in Seattle. To shed some light on this issue, let me quickly cut to our man on the street, Spiel Spimbley.
Okay, let's do it. We're going to the Starbucks Reserve. So this is going to be freaking awesome.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's
Do you like Starbucks?
early
Not really.
light?
What's the point of living? Anybody? Do you like riding?
I do.
How about Starbucks? Cringe, right?
Very.
So cringe. Unions.
I love unions. I'm a
Beast mode. Wait, you are?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is actually good.
really wearing Starbucks.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been accosting people, singing the Star Spangled Banner.
The Star Spangled Banner. I mean,
Yeah, I mean America too, huh? Worms.
ooh, that's pretty cringe.
That's cringe. But can you tell me a little bit about the unions?
Yeah. The Starbucks Workers United Union started in Buffalo in, I believe, 2021. I followed it a little bit and ended up joining here, which organized in like April of 2022, I think, pretty early on in the campaign, and we're a really active union store. It's an interesting time, specifically for us, because we are trying to get a contract, so we're trying to kind of play nice with the company, although it feels like they're
Playing hardball.
they are playing hardball. I don't want to give them the satisfaction, but since swapping Brian Nichols in as the CEO, they've definitely been less kind to the union.
Some might call him Brian Dimes. Or not nickel. No, that's even more. A penny. He is nickel and diming, but he should be worth a penny. And we're getting rid of him.
We're not making pennies anymore. Exactly. That's what I was.
Wow. Canada.
Canada.
They also don't have pennies.
Good for them.
But anyways, that's awesome. I did hear about all of the stuff happening here. I was outside a bit talking to people. They don't know about the unions really. All the people in line.
A semi-common occurrence here is like we go on strike, and it's always fun to see the people who just like are coming to the roastery for the roasteries reactions to the strikes. Very funny to watch people cross a picket line and try to open a locked door with a sign on it that says we are closed, but a lot of people do it.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy, and he didn't even like coffee.
Hey.
And he was in the line. So it's like, we don't even know. They don't even know what the fuck they're lining up for, to be honest.
Other things. I mean, we have pizza. I made some pizza.
You have, pizza. So you're getting off work just now.
I am going on lunch.
Oh, so I'm in your way.
Oh,
Actively. Well, I will let you go.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you so much for talking about this. You're the only person that knows anything about anything that's gone on so far today, including me.
In front of a Lime scooter. This is my podium.
Well, you're mobile.
I am mobile.
Like the plug.
I think I'm paying for this conversation because.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I have the patience.
Oh, beautiful.
Sign our no contract, no coffee pledge. Go to StarbucksWorkersUnited.com. I think that might be it. If you see a picket line, don't cross it. We love it. We love the support. If you see a picket line, maybe honk. That's always fun.
Yeah, if you cross that picket line, you're a damn worm like everybody else in here.
Yeah. I won't like you personally.
You're a damn slug.
Damn slug.
And we're gonna get you.
We got a lot of salt in there.
But we're nonviolent. But we're gonna get you.
Not violent.
We're gonna get you really, really a lot. All right. Well, I'll let you go.
Who are y'all with also?
University of Washington.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've been pretending like I'm with Como 4 News, because then the old white people will let me talk.
Because they know, though.
They do know them, and then
They know University of Washington as well, but...
no, but then they think I'm a liberal. Because I'm trying to.
I thought all the communists that infested the college... I shouldn't be joking about that.
No, you.
People...
We're gonna.
Well, people will take it seriously.
That's true. They suck.
Satire is dead. Satire is dead.
It is dead, and that's why I'm here, and I'm greased up, and I'm sweating. I'm in a tweed jacket in the middle of the sun.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for talking to us. I will let you go.
Y'all have a great day. I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes.
Awesome. We might still be here, accosting people. So goodbye. That was the Starbucks Reserve. I think I may die of heat stroke. I'm so sweaty and. Back to you, Jake. Thank you.
Thank you, Stoop, for the fantastic reporting. You are really handsome, and you deserve so much unconditional love. To give a bit more context, these unionization efforts stemming from Buffalo were on account of a lack of upward mobility and salary, as well as understaffing and undertraining of staff. Within Seattle, there have been more and more efforts to unionize, stemming from the same issues. As these pleas began to make more noise in 2023, Starbucks closed 23 stores. A Seattle union member can be quoted as stating, "The complaint is the latest confirmation of Starbucks' determination to illegally oppose workers' organizing." The National Labor Relations Board agreed and ordered the company to reopen all locations and pay lost salaries. Getting into the nitty-gritty, the National Labor Relations Act, also cited as NLRA, or the Act 29 USC, two symbols I don't understand, Section 7, Section 157. Employees shall have the right to self-organize, to form, join, or assist labor organizations, to bargain collectively through representatives of their own choosing, and to engage in other concerted activities. Furthermore, from Section 8, Article 158, I believe, it shall be an unfair labor practice for an employer to interfere with, restrain, or coerce employees in the exercise of the rights guaranteed in Section 7. At the Starbucks Reserve, protests in the form of walkouts have become prevalent in the last 2 years. Union members recently rejected a proposal from the company that guaranteed annual raises of at least 2%. The union said Starbucks did not offer any changes to healthcare benefits or an immediate pay bump. This has caused more and more unrest within the workforce and has contributed to a loss in productivity and revenue. Starbucks is in a very, very tough position, and it is hard to see a way to get out of it without granting the unions what they are requesting. So now you're asking me, Jake, you're so freaking smart and you're so awesome. What do you think the organization should have learned? Well, they're so behind on the curve when it came to creating a fair and equitable work environment They rested on their laurels as they were known as decently worker-friendly throughout the first few decades since their inception, even being named on the 2023 Fortune World's Most Admired Company list. I think that moral licensing, or the practice of allowing yourself to do something unethical because of past positive decisions, is at play here. The organization is now seen in a very negative light because of their bounded awareness, which is when cognitive blinders prevent a person from seeing, seeking, using, or sharing highly relevant, easily accessible, and readily perceivable information during the decision-making process, when it came to the happiness of their employees. So that sucks. This fact should make the leadership team reflect and realize that their laissez-faire attitude towards their on-the-ground workforce can only cause them harm in the long run. So now you may be asking yourself, how these damn people can make it better in the future? Because it's pretty chopped at the moment. Well, my suggestion is to have a third party come in and look into the way that they make decisions for their employees, as well as their communication strategies to the union. The fact that they got in trouble with the National Labor Relations Board should be enough of a wake-up call. Someone with experience in unionization needs to be part of their leadership team. I'm not saying they need to completely bend to the wants and needs of the unions, as no negotiations are still required, but not breaking the law trying to snuff them out would be pretty nice, I would say. So, I'm going to come out and say it. Starbucks is a multi-billion-dollar company. The facade of equity was one that was thin to begin with. With that said, I believe some small changes may create a more equitable framework for the business. First and foremost, they need to give individual stores more say in the way that they operate, from training to staffing. Every location has different needs, and allowing the workers at the stores more freedom to get creative, they can find better balance for themselves when it comes to shifts. Another thing I would love to see is a more transparent process for pay raises and upwards mobility. Though the company drafted an offer that included 2% increase for wages per year, the process of gaining salary for tenure and performance remained nebulous. To make matters worse, last year they offered even less in raises after a rough financial year. So, are the Starbucks and the unions cooked? Maybe. But I think that if the workforce continues to fight, they'll be able to get to an agreement that will better their conditions. My name is Jake Stevens, and thank you for watching.